Compared to the more conservative attitudes of North America, Europeans have always been seen as trailblazers when it comes to nudity. From the array of nudist beaches to the explicit magazines, I remember my first time in Paris and seeing nude bodies full on display all over the magazines, and I've literally never seen anything like it before. Europeans are notorious for not only being the first ones to showcase nudity, but to do it in a very open and realistic manner. Pale skin, sagging parts, unshaven pubic hair, a body is literally just a body. Nothing sexy about it. But not all of Europe is notorious for letting it all hang out. Countries like Greece, Portugal, or Italy are still quite conservative when it comes to the attitudes about nudity. And while there are many statistics out there about the most nude comfortable countries in the world, it is typically the same ones that make the cut. Spain, France, Denmark, Finland, and Germany. Half a year ago, I made a video about Finland and how, in my opinion, it is also one of the most nude comfortable cultures. It is common to go to the sauna completely naked with both your parents and immediate family. And I gotta say, Spain has me incredibly shocked in that regard. Recently, I had a chance to watch a Spanish Netflix movie. And in that movie, a woman was giving birth, and not just mimicking giving birth. You could literally see all the parts on display as the baby popped out. I'm still recovering from that one. But if you've ever vacationed anywhere in the world and seen naked German tourists, I'm sure you can agree, Germany's nude culture is the most renowned. For starters, Germany has a huge FKK culture, or free the body culture. Going nude to saunas, beaches, and parks is highly popular. Recently, Berlin, or the City of Freedom, has made headlines when it has permitted women to go topless to public pools. And this made me really curious. Is the hype still true? Are Germans still as crazy about nudity as they once were? Do you think Germany is like number one when it comes to getting naked?
I would have thought the Nordics are more open for nudity.
I mean, I hear that a lot from people outside of Germany, and I never noticed it, but maybe because also the way I grew up, I mean, it was not very conservative, but also not that we went to FKK beaches, but of course you've seen them.
FKK, I think it's called. Is it a big thing here in Munich?
No, not more. Not, I mean, no. 20 to 30 years ago it was, but right now it's no theme at all. You have the internet, you have the newspapers, you have television, you can see nude people everywhere, so why is this interesting to lay around in the garden?
But isn't the whole concept that you're closer to the nature and you feel so free and relaxed?
I'm relaxed with dressed too, so I'd have not to be undressed to relax and not to be watched by thousands of people. To be a tourist attraction, no. that makes me more uncomfortable.
These conversations really got me thinking. Was the FKK culture a thing of the past? And in our modern day and age, was going nude slowly going out of style?
When I first got here, people were lying around in public parks completely naked.
For example, a friend of mine does just change his clothes there, and all the Dutch people are keeping a towel behind them, and like my German friends just, okay, I will just quickly do it, whatever.
Like coming, for example, here to the Englische Garten, and like right over there, there's like naked people like all the time.
Camping parks, for example, in Croatia, where are many old German people with their boats and everything, and it's really often you see naked people there. Yeah.
I've just been on holiday, summer holidays, and it's a nude beach. So I think it makes sense. Also within the cities you have nude places where you can go. Whenever we go to a lake, there's always one district of the lake where you can be nude.
Do you personally do this?
I only go topless if I do it. Sometimes you do, she doesn't at all. I do it, of course.
I personally like to swim topless.
If a guy is allowed to go topless, a woman should be allowed to go topless. For me, it's unnecessary discussion.
It depends on the woman. Yeah, when I would be in a discussion, it would
distract you.
Yes.
Do you think like Germans have like a different attitude to nudity in general?
Yeah, they don't care.
It depends on the family because we grew up like that. Like I said, we've literally been on the holiday on a nude beach every single summer since we were born. So it's very usual, normal to us.
You see your parents naked, this is just a normal thing, like your mom and your dad, right?
There's a nude part over there,
and people are doing it there, but people with clothes walking by. And that's kind of weird. Yeah.
By the way, I decided to come to Munich to film this episode, and as some of you know, Munich is part of Bavaria. If you are German, you may be thinking, why didn't you go east to film this episode? This is where all the nudist beaches are. The other such reason is that in 2014, Munich has designated 6 areas to be nude in the city, and one of these areas is the English Garten, which is located smack in the middle of the city. And the other such park is located in Berlin called the Tiergarten. So that means as you're walking around this park, it is absolutely normal to see nude people lying around and showing their parts for all the tourists to see. Okay, so I'm in the English Garten here in Munich, and a huge part of this park is actually a designated nudist zone, which means that on that side there's people fully clothed, and on this side there's people fully in the nude, just lying around in the center of the park, and it is legally like a nudist zone. Something really funny for me, it's the name of the English Garden, because English are known to be the most prudish for their bodies and the most uncomfortable around the concept of nudity, but actually that is not why English Garten was named the way that it was. It has completely another meaning, but it is super interesting to see on a sunny day people just lying around in the nude right in the center of the city, right in front of everyone. I'm gonna walk around and see if I can actually spot any nudists lying around, but so far I've only seen 2 people. Honestly, it was a pretty cold couple of days, so I'm not too surprised that I only saw one nude guy tanning in the English Garden. Of course, I decided to approach him, and I apologize in advance for the extremely shaky camera work, but I'm pretty sure your hands would be shaking as well if you've ever had to interview a nude guy in a park. Can you just tell me, just for research, like I'm writing a paper on it, like why do you like to do the nudist culture?
I've done it all my life, and it gives me a feeling of liberty. Swimming trunks are not that comfortable.
Do you think it's going out of style, the whole nudist culture?
To be honest, yes, it is.
But
there used to be much more people around here. I don't know, I just think it's not that trendy anymore. Of course, here is a bit annoying as well, because people always walk here, which is actually a horse.
Yeah, sorry, like us.
Yeah, don't you worry, but yeah, it's not that comfortable if you get a bus of Japanese or
yeah, they take pictures.
Whatever, doesn't matter.
Contrary to the popular belief that Germans speak English fluently, I'd experienced quite the opposite. People often spoke German to me, which was not surprising as I was in Germany, but my attempts at speaking English to them were also often met with replies in German. I was quite aware that this might happen, and I would have to learn at least a few basic phrases for me to follow directions, do some groceries, and not look like a complete stupid tourist. But the last thing I wanted to do on the road was learn languages. I was exhausted enough as it was, taking a bus from point A to point B, and the only thing I wanted to do was to sleep and binge watch my favorite shows, not learn German through some boring app. And as it turns out, I could binge watch my favorite shows and learn German at the same time. How, will you ask? Drumroll. Lingopie. I would go so far to say that Lingopie is the Netflix of languages. And it's super easy. You watch your favorite show and you do so with interactive subtitles. But you can go further than that. Practice your pronunciation by speaking into the microphone and get instantly scored on how well you did.
Magst du?
Magst du?
Toasts.
Toasts.
Ich liebe.
Ich liebe.
Toasts.
Toasts. You can slow down the playback rate if you're a beginner, or speed it up if you're more advanced. You can get instant grammar explanations, or create flashcards and quizzes for practice. There is a sidebar script that shows you all the sentences of the show or the movie, so you never lose track. What made this experience even better is that I was learning German the way it was meant to be spoken. Slang, street vocabulary, you name it. I remember when I was 12 and just moved to Canada. And do you know how I was learning English? Yes, it was through watching my favorite shows. And Lingopie is basically that, but on a completely different level.
Magst du Toast? Ich liebe Toast.
You can literally download Lingopie as an extension on Netflix and make that part of your evening routine. But instead of binge watching a show for hours on end without any real benefit to show for it, you can use that time to learn a new language. Use the link to try the free 7-day trial and start your journey of binge watching with a purpose. So yes, the consensus was German nudity was going out of style. But there was one place Germans always go in the nude. The sauna. Mixed sauna, in fact. And being naked in a sauna is not a preference, it's a requirement. Nudity in the sauna, yes or no?
In the sauna, yes.
Yes, of course. For me, it's totally normal. I love going to the sauna, and it's like I do it every week.
And always in the nude?
Yes.
Okay.
Of course.
I mean, I go a lot to the sauna actually, and like there I'm always like nude.
Yeah, I also go to the sauna a lot. So I feel like when the like whole atmosphere or like surrounding is obviously everyone is naked, then I would feel more comfortable to actually do it too.
I do not go to the sauna to undress myself. I go to the sauna to do sauna.
When I tell Germans that in Canada we don't go naked to the sauna, they get very confused. See? Like,
I only found out once when I was outside of Germany and then went to the sauna. That's actually a German thing that you go naked to the sauna.
Do you do that? Do you go naked to the mixed sauna?
Yeah.
Have you guys been to the German sauna yet?
Yeah.
How is that experience?
At the beginning was weird. Now I just like go like I don't really care.
Would you feel comfortable going to the sauna naked? No, okay. You don't feel comfortable?
It's not my favorite, but I would do it and I did it. So
You always go nude into the sauna here.
So you don't ever think twice about like, oh, this is weird. I'm in a sauna with another naked woman. I'm naked.
No, not at all.
It's just natural.
It's normal, yeah.
So yes, 9 times out of 10, Germans absolutely embraced going to the sauna in the nude. And there was no other way to find out about the German sauna culture than to do it myself. So I wanted to share my experience in the German sauna. It was my first time and I really wanted to try it out. When I got into the sauna, it was just women. So I felt pretty comfortable. It was okay. Excuse me, can I ask, in the sauna, do we go naked or? Yes, naked. Naked, okay. Okay, thank you. Halfway through, the atmosphere suddenly changed. By atmosphere, I mean the fact that all the women seemed to have somehow vanished. There were no more women, it was just men. And imagine the feeling of being completely nude in the steam room with just a man. And like not a huge space. Some of them were quite big, some of them were quite small. I know that nudity here, nudity in the sauna is not sexual. As a naked woman, you feel very uncomfortable. I would love to hear how you guys would feel if you were in a sauna like this. Again, I'm not used to going around nude to places where there's men around, so it's just something that feels absolutely abnormal. And to be honest, I really love the German sauna. I thought it was extremely relaxing. It's such a cool idea. I do like the nudity concept. What I don't like is when you are the only woman in a room full of naked men and you have to pretend that this is somehow natural and normal and that they're not looking at you in some sort of sexual way. So having forced myself to talk to a completely nude man in a park, having gone to the German sauna in the nude, I now had one final challenge in front of me to completely Germanize myself. There are times in my life where I really wonder, what am I doing with my life? And when you're walking 20 minutes to a nudist beach, this is a perfect time to really think about your life and what the hell are you really doing with it. So I'm literally now in the middle of nowhere to go check out a nudist beach. And it's a nudist beach close to Munich, or it is in Munich actually. So I'm hiding in the bushes next to this sign. Honestly, I don't know what the protocol is for like a nude beach. Should I go nude or can I not? Because I'm not going to. I really don't feel comfortable doing that. But at the same time, coming in with like a swimming suit to a nude beach must be super uncomfortable. And honestly, filming is going to be really difficult. So I'm going to do it very much hidden, even though I am going to blur everything. But I don't want to be intruding on people's privacy. I don't want to get weird looks and I don't want to be that person. If you live in countries like Croatia or Greece, I'm sure you've seen your fair share of naked German tourists, but it's still exciting anyways to go check it out. There is a saying out there that it is the people that you don't want to see in the nude that usually go in the nude, and being at that nude beach, I could say there's truth to that. While there are 500,000 registered nudists and 7 million Germans sunbathe regularly in the nude, these numbers are falling by 2% each year. The biggest reason why, besides the shrinking population, is the demographics changing. I mean, a lot of the immigrants aren't interested in social nudity or are downright against it because of their religious views.
Last year there was a Muslim guy and he was like, you should be ashamed, there are children around, there are little girls. You know, it's legal here on this spot.
For decades, nudity was highly popular to those living in communist East Germany. It gave some sort of freedom to those living behind the Iron Curtain. This began to gradually change after the fall of the Berlin Wall in 1989, but also a lot of the other cultures didn't much enjoy seeing German tourists come to their country and take it all off. But there's still less taboo about being naked in Germany. Not everyone that I talked to was thrilled at the idea of going nude to the beaches and the parks, but most people that I talked to were absolutely okay to go nude to the mixed saunas. And in general, I found that people seemed a lot less self-conscious about bearing it all out for strangers to see. Here, the attitude is mostly, nudity is not sexual. It's all about bearing it out, being close to the nature, and most likely just not giving too much of a damn. And that's kind of a nice way to put it, if you think about it. I hope you guys enjoyed the content, and if you want to see more content like this, then please let me know below. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more on dating, culture, and connection around the world, and hit the bell button to receive notifications so you don't miss out on future content. I'm super excited to make these new style of videos for you, and I hope you enjoy them as much as I enjoy making them. So let me know if you do, and I will see you next week with another culture. Keep on breaking down your barriers.